Hey everyone, Barbexter here, and welcome to the first official video on this channel. Today, I'm going to be reading you some of the best Am I the Asshole Reddit stories I could find. Hope you enjoy, let's get right into it, and please let me know how I can improve these videos in the comments below. The first post reads, Am I the asshole for not being happy at becoming an uncle? My wife, F38, has a younger brother, M34. He's clearly the most beloved in the family that can do no wrong, but he's a good guy. He has a girlfriend, also a very nice girl, and they moved in together last year. Now, me and my wife wanted to have kids, but 4 years ago she was diagnosed with cancer, and while she's luckily in total remission, therapies stop us from even trying. And given her age, it means that we will probably never have kids. 1 month ago, we were invited by her parents for lunch with the brother and the girlfriend. But unfortunately, my wife got ill. She's still very fragile. The evening before, and we had to cancel. They reprogrammed 2 weeks later, but again, she got a high fever in the morning and we could not join. For some reason, everybody sounded very angry at this. Her brother even asking me if I thought it was only stress and not a real illness. I got a bit pissed, explained that fever is real, and closed the conversation. Finally, yesterday we had the dinner. At the end, they told that there was a gift for us and they wanted to record our reactions with their phones. Inside the package, there was a pregnancy test. My wife started ugly crying, saying it was the happiest she's ever been, and hugging and crying for a few minutes, the future mom. I went through different stages: happiness for them, regret, and pain for my wife, and my brother in law said something along the lines of, Now you know why I was upset at you for skipping the dinners. To which I, with a less than pleasant tone, answered that they could have simply called us, and that there was no need for them to make all of that a scene. Everyone around us looked shocked and uncertain of how to react. My wife started feeling unwell, actually fever again, so we basically left. Now, I know I should say sorry to them, but at the same time, the fact that nobody, even her mother, thought that this could have been a somewhat stressing moment for my wife makes me upset. They all have the rights to be happy, and we should be for them. So I feel I'm the asshole here. Well, this seems pretty complicated. Although it was a happy, situation for all the parties involved, and I think that was definitely the original intention of the brother-in-law and his girlfriend. I think it's really troubling and honestly a bit insensitive for them to give the positive pregnancy test to the wife and the husband who are unable to have kids, even though they've tried. It just seems kind of unintentionally insensitive, and I think the fact that the brother-in-law pointed out and kind of made a joke out about it, as the poster said, kind of how he said that that was why they were so angry at them for skipping the dinners. I don't know. It just feels like it placed a lot of pressure on the sick wife who had cancer, which is awful, of course. But it just seems to add a lot of extra stress, which the poster clearly outlines that the wife doesn't need. I definitely don't think he's the asshole in this situation, and I don't think he owes them an apology. If anything, I think an apology could go both ways here in a perfect world. But yeah, I definitely think it seemed really insensitive for the couple to give a positive pregnancy test as a gift to someone else. That's a bit strange, but also specifically to the couple that couldn't have kids. It just seems a bit insensitive. Now let's see what the comments think. The top comment on this says, "Not the asshole." Also, since when is someone else's pregnancy a gift to others? I definitely agree with this. It's pretty strange, to be honest. Two comments on this post read, extremely insensitive. I feel really bad for the OP's wife. Being unable to have children you wanted is incredibly difficult for women. I'm child free, but even I understand that. And someone replies, it was extremely insensitive, clueless, self centered, and selfish, tone deaf. I could go on for days. Honestly, yeah, for sure. This next post is in regard to some relationship issues that this OP is having. It reads, Am I the asshole for expecting my girlfriend to do my half of her chores as well? I've been having arguments with my girlfriend regarding chores for a while, and it just doesn't make any sense. When we started dating, she mentioned how she doesn't want to be a mom to me and wants me to handle myself regarding domestic duties. I was completely fine with that. I was living on my own when we met and did everything by myself, managing my own life. No problem at all. We moved in together and we clashed a fair bit and decided it would be best to just assign certain chores and stick with that. She hates being in the kitchen and doesn't want to cook. She also doesn't like doing the dishes because of her nails. I thought that was a pretty lame excuse, but whatever. I agree to do everything in the kitchen. That means all the cooking, dishes, cleaning pans, wiping down the stove and countertop, etc. Personally, I thought that was a phenomenal deal for her, even if she did everything else. She said, okay, you handle that and we'll separate everything else in half. We'll split the laundry, split the cleaning, bathrooms, toilets, take turns grocery shopping, etc. Now, if everything was shared, I'd be fine with that. But she wants me to handle the kitchen entirely and split everything else. Her argument is, well, you know how much I hate these chores, but I'm willing to split it with you, and that shows how much I want to be a team, as I'm not flat out refusing and being difficult. That doesn't make any sense to me. First of all, if I'm handling the kitchen for both of us, which is daily, I think that it's more than fair for you alone to handle laundry weekly, cleaning the toilets and the bathrooms weekly, etc. When I asked her to do my laundry or iron my clothes or anything like that, she'd say that I'm not your maid or your mom. Am I not being your private chef? Am I not being your private dishwasher? I'm throwing it in your face because I'm willing to do it for the both of us. Also, frankly speaking, IDGAF if you hate chores. It's part of being an adult. They need to be done, and that's not a good excuse to pin more on your partner because they're able to deal with it better. It's just frustrating. I honestly thought that this would be a I do this for both of us, you do this for both of us, etc., which would be so easy, but it's not. I don't even think I'm being unreasonable at all. In fact, I think I'm being more than fair. I feel the answer to this is very obvious and honestly doesn't even require commentary from me, but I'm just gonna give my 2 cents here just in case. Obviously he's not the asshole. The girlfriend is definitely at fault in the situation. The comments point out, which I will get into in a minute, that it's very hypocritical what the girlfriend is doing. She was saying that she wanted him to do his own chores and man the kitchen and everything because she didn't want to like be his mom, essentially, meaning she didn't want to like baby him or do all the chores for him. Which he acknowledged that he was fine doing everything if it was just split evenly, which is totally fair, and she did not agree to that. So obviously, this girlfriend is taking advantage of him, expecting him to do a lot of the heavy work, all of the heavy work, excuse me, in the kitchen, and still, despite that, splitting the most of basic of chores or chores that take a significantly less amount of time and you have to do with less frequency, like cooking and cleaning and dishes, is daily, multiple times a day. Like typically for an average person, three. Cleaning toilets and bathrooms and stuff like that, it could be like weekly for some people. So she's definitely not doing the bare minimum and is not okay with them splitting. So I think this dude needs to stand his ground like he's doing and not give in because he's already doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Let's see what the comments say. The top comment, the one I was referencing, says she didn't want to mom you. She wants you to mom her. And the replies agree, saying, this, do as I say, not as I do. The irony is wild. She dodged about being your mom so she could turn you into her dad who handles the daily grind. That's absolutely true. It's very hypocritical and very backwards. So, yeah, absolutely. I agree with these comments here. Another comment here says, not the asshole. Kitchen chores are the worst. Living with someone who doesn't understand that is a pain. Laundry is by far the easiest chore. It's 10 minutes of actual work, loading and unloading and putting away. The OP replies, if someone offered to do everything in the kitchen for me, I'd jump at it, even if that means doing everything else. Apparently, it's just me, lol. It's pretty labor intensive to do every single day, especially if you eat 3 meals a day, which I wager is most people. So many chores are done weekly and only take 30 minutes at most. The next reply says, not only that, but the mental load of planning and putting together whole ass meals every day is a lot. I'm lucky my wife is excellent at it, but she does get frustrated with me because if she asks me, my go to is something in the freezer. I can definitely relate to that. I'm not much of a cook myself, but even still, for someone like me who's not a cook, I obviously don't really enjoy dishes and stuff like that. I don't cook intricate meals. I eat pretty basic stuff. But even still, eating pretty basic meals a couple times a day, dishes and all that stuff, and even just planning out basic meals can be a lot on someone. So I couldn't imagine what it's like for this guy having to cook, you know, meals for himself and her, and then do all of the other kitchen things. Cleaning the entire kitchen, which you use daily, making multiple, probably 3 meals a day, and doing the dishes and so forth. It's very bad. This guy needs to stand his ground firmly. Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap up this first video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, leave a comment or subscribe. Any of those things would help me out a lot since I'm just getting started here on this channel. And as I said in the intro, please let me know any ways I can improve these videos in the comments. If there's anything, any tips you may have or anything you'd like to see improved, I'll work on it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.